We're back at it with another episode. We are here in my studio for the What's Good podcast. I'm your host, Austin Willis, and welcome in once again. Welcome into my train of thought, into my studio, and we're here to dive into what's really good. If you're new to the show, on this podcast, we just kind of talk about life and the experiences that we go through, or I should say I go through, and I open up that conversation for the community to chime in and just get into what's good, what I'll be thinking about on my daily basis. This week I didn't really know what I wanted to talk about per se, but life has this weird way of showing us what we need, right? And with that being said, I figured I would talk about the perspective, right? And because of that, I decided to change up the perspective of this show. So we are on the couch again today. Got my lovely painting behind me. I got some paintings I've been working on and finishing to the side of me. And we're just chilling on the couch. You know the vibe. Today we're going to talk about perspective and what that kind of entails and how we can shift perspective into better our lives, right? How we can adapt, how we can learn, how we can control what is meant to be controlled, and how reflecting on that and how adapting that perception of how we view things can help better move forward or better allocate our energy towards the things that truly matter, right? So why I say that, I'll give an example just to start out. So we all have times in life where we are frustrated, where energy's pent up, or we just get set over the top, right? And you have every right to be angry, but sometimes that anger can cloud your judgment or cloud your reaction to things. And sometimes we could better move forward in that situation and challenge to be more solution-based. And this is for myself included, right? And why I say that is, the solution-based and the positive outlook should always look at the obstacle as a lesson or an opportunity rather than frustration. Can help better your everyday life. And I had to remind myself of this, yesterday. A situation kind of went on at work where something really just kind of set me over the top. And usually I'm a very laid back guy, and I try to, just work through everything from a logical standpoint, separate emotion. But there's times where I really get pent up, and when I get sent over the top, sometimes it's really hard for me to come back down. And I had to remind myself, it's like, you know what? You couldn't control that. That situation is what it is. How are you going to move forward from that? How are you going to reset and challenge yourself to take this opportunity and evaluate how it's an opportunity, number one, how it can challenge you to reset and look for a solution and look for the best outcome rather than being angry at the situation. And it was tough, man. Like, I was really pissed off. But I had to work through that, and I was like, you know what? It is what it is. Like, I couldn't control that, but I can control how I am reacting. So I had to calm myself down. I had to take a deep breath. I had to leave work towards the end of the day and just go on a walk. I had to figure out the solution for the challenge and the obstacle that was at hand. And after that, I needed to reset. So I went to my homie Nate Lewis's opening show. Congrats, Nate. Amazing show. I have to go back during the daytime so I can really listen into the sound aspect of the show that he put on. For anyone that is looking for a good art show, go check out my boy Nate Lewis's show at the Friedman Gallery in the LES on Bowery. It's an amazing show, beautiful, has a lot to tell, so definitely check that out if you're there. But yeah, so for me, I had to go to Nate's show, and I just wanted to take my own emotion out of the situation that had happened and just take the opportunity, like, cool, like, because of this situation, I was able to leave work a little bit earlier, and that allowed me to experience this show for a longer duration. So that opportunity itself was such a blessing. So even though in the midst of chaos, in the midst of anger and frustration, something positive came out of it. I was able to show up for a homie, see his show, and he did an amazing job. And I'm thankful for that. And I'm so proud to be able to just show up for him in his moment and and share that joy with him and the community around him and the accomplishment he reached. So once again, changing that perspective too, it's like something played out. But then from there, it's like, okay, after I left, there was still that kind of pent down energy where it's like I was frustrated over the situation. So it's like, how can I better myself in this? So it's like I knew I was going to the studio. I was like, all right, cool. Work it out through the art. Just work on some paintings, maybe start a new painting, just work out that energy, release it, let go of it. So when I leave the studio and I was done painting for the night or whatever it was doing, whether it was sitting on this very couch, reading a book, like I knew once I left the studio, like I had to let go of that. So it's a matter of changing my perspective or reminding myself to change the perspective, to look for the best possible outcome or release it so I can move forward without that pent up energy. So I've recently been reading a book called The Obstacle is the Way. And it's a pretty amazing book. I'm a really slow reader. I read like 4 pages at a time and then we'll take a break and then come back to it. But this is the book, The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. Shout out to the homie, Randy Perez in LA, another painter, artist, beat maker, amazing human, doing really cool things. Check out his brand Untitled. He put me on this book and I've been reading it super slowly. But it's funny because even with this matter of perspective, this book tells you a way how to tune your mind into changing your overall thinking pattern to see every obstacle in front of you as a positive and a opportunity to always grow. And recently, with a few events in my life, it has challenged me tremendously to always tune my perspective to always see the obstacle as a positive and not feel flustered by it. And there's a point, let me see if I can find it without losing page 49. Remember that 49, so if I lose my bookmark, guys. Let me go back to a few pages that didn't lost my page. Because I'm using the handheld mic, I can't use multiple hands, so let's find it here. I want to share one quote with you guys. See if I can find it. There's one. Here we go. Everything changed for Clooney when he tried a new perspective, right? Matter of perspective, here we are. It's talking about George Clooney, how he was having challenges as an actor, right? He realized that casting is an obstacle for producers as well. So reminding yourself that even as you're faced with this challenge and this obstacle and you're frustrated with the situation, on the other side of it, the people you're dealing with are probably frustrated in some way as well. So taking your own emotion out of it and finding the positive, right? So what did George Clooney do? They said they needed to find somebody, right? And they are all hoping that the next person to walk in the room is that right somebody. Auditions were a chance to solve their problem, not his. From Clooney's new perspective, he was the solution. He wasn't going to be someone groveling for a shot. He wasn't someone with something special to offer. He was the answer to their prayers, not the other way around. So in that, why I wanted to share that quote was just a matter of how he changed his perspective, right? Looking at every hurdle, every moment of frustration as a challenge, right? And it's like the other side of it has frustrations, whether it is dealing with other people, say on a project you're working on, say it's in your day-to-day job, if you're working in retail and you have a customer that's frustrated about a situation, he's making you frustrated. Everyone is frustrated from that standpoint. So it's like changing that matter of perspective to find the solution in it, right? Finding the solution to be that answer rather than being left in that frustration. And with that mindset, always looking for the solution. And it's easier said than done. Like even myself, like I said, I'm still working on this. And by no means am I perfect. Changing that perspective allows you to move forward, right? And it just makes things easier because now it's like you're not allocating energy towards the wrong place. It's like, you know what? I'm not going to be frustrated. I'm not going to be overwhelmed by this situation. I'm going to take a step back, look at it logically, be like, okay, how can we fix this? How can we move forward with this? How can I be the solution and the answer to this thing. How can I control my actions, right? I can't control how this person's feeling. I can't control the situation of how something randomly in life happened, whether it be a random mishap, hurdle, whatever it is, like MTA going down. But we can change our perspective when we have control of our action. And with the control of our action and our thought process, then we can change how we move forward. And when we move forward with a clear mind, then we can clear that hurdle or that obstacle to the best possible component and route without frustration. And with that, you just feel released. You can keep on moving forward. You don't have to feel boggled down by it. You don't have to feel exhausted, because being frustrated is a very exhausting thing. So once again, changing a matter of perspective lets us just, take it slow. Just lets us move forward, move clearly. So that's kind of it. It's a weird way to end it, I know for sure. But there's something that's just been on my mind. Just a matter of challenging myself to always stay tuned with my perspective and look for a solution rather than being by frustration. So I want to know, how do you guys deal with your frustration? How do you deal with your obstacles? How do you tune your perspective? How do you remind yourself? Do you do meditation? Do you read? Do you talk it out? Do you let it out in art, whether it be making music, painting? What do you guys do to always, challenge your perspective? Because sometimes it can be so easy to lean into the negative or the obstacle itself than rather the solution base. So what are some things you guys do? Let me know, comment, I want to have this conversation. I want to see what people do to help, because at the end of the day, I think we all should share this knowledge with each other so we can all be the best self. We always hear nowadays living your truth, and through living that truth, I think, is having the ability to commune and have conversation with our community so we can all change our perspectives together so we can move forward without resentment or anything. So once again, I'm your host, Austin Willis. Thank you for tuning in. This is the What's Good podcast. Like, subscribe, comment. Let's continue this conversation, and let's keep on changing perspectives for the better and just keep on pushing the world forward. And if anyone wants to do a studio visit, let me know. I'm always down for y'all to come through and chill. And let's hop on the podcast together. Let me know. And that's it, guys. Have a good one. Peace.